Welcome back. You're watching Startup Central with me, Nayantara Rai. Today we're talking about the blockbuster listing of Coinbase, and why not? What a disruptor we have seen. Coinbase with 57 million users directly listing at the NASDAQ, becoming larger than the NASDAQ's own valuation, is bigger than a Goldman Sachs. It is, of course, a large, putting it very mildly, large, a massive crypto exchange in the United States. I'm going to now be discussing the Indian angle. Yes, we've seen that blockbuster rally as far as the Bitcoin goes. There's been all this chatter about countries looking to legitimize cryptos and what will happen to those that don't. India still has to introduce legislation in Parliament. From commentary of the finance minister as well as the RBI governor, it looks as if India wants to have its own digital rupee. We still don't know whether cryptos will be legitimized. In the interim, we've also seen companies being instructed to declare if they own any cryptos. When you look at what's happened with Coinbase, what does it mean for India? What does it mean for all of you that may have wanted to invest in Coinbase? Can you invest in Coinbase going forward? It's a conversation I'm going to be having with Vinay Bhardwaj, the co-founder and co-CEO at Stockal, which allows Indians to invest in US equities. Also joining us is Sumit Gupta, the CEO and co-founder at Coincx, a homegrown crypto exchange. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Startup Central. Vinay, let me just come to you first, because we've seen the direct listing. We've seen how the stock performed on day one as well, entered the $100 billion valuation club. Can you give us a sense of at all whether in this direct listing, at least on Stockal, did you see Indians participate?
No, absolutely. No, first, thanks for having me over. No, it's been a pretty crazy ride, for the last 2-3 days. Ever since Coinbase announced their direct listing, and they'll be going to be, listed in Nasdaq. The interest which we got from the Indian investors have been pretty phenomenal, right? And this is a trend which we have been seeing for the last 6-7 months. Ever since the new age tech IPO started. From the likes of, say, Snowflakes, Airbnb, DoorDash, and now with Coinbase. The general overall interest from the Indian investor has been pretty exciting. There is a constant, request, asking whether, when Coinbase would be available. What are all the ways in which they could start investing. So the interest in general has been pretty awesome.
But can you give us an idea, at least on your platform, the kind of interest that was seen, the number of queries, the number of Indians that actually put their money on the table and invested?
So no, it's pretty early to say that number, because it's just been a day since people have Coinbase have been listed. But overall, we had about 30 to 40% incoming rise in incoming interest in the platform. People, like I said, wanting to understand how do they go about investing in Coinbase, and the overall sentiment has been pretty positive, right? There's, like I said, about 40% incoming interest as to how they go about investing in the platform.
Sumit, let me come to you now. You have founded an Indian crypto exchange of sorts. Brian Armstrong and co, probably living your dream. Look at what has happened. What does it mean for your startup, for your exchange?
Hello.
Sumit?
Yes, can
Sumit,
you please
if you can
repeat?
hear me, I was saying Brian Armstrong doing what you probably... Yes, I was saying Brian Armstrong and the Coinbase team living your dream. Look at the blockbuster listing that we have seen. Will there be a rub-off effect in India? And is it possible to have a rub-off effect in India in the absence of the legislation from the government side legitimizing cryptos?
I think this is definitely going to make a difference. This is a very historic moment for the entire crypto industry globally, and Coinbase getting listed, added a lot of credibility to the space. Now people can not just invest in crypto, but can also invest in crypto companies. This definitely is something that regulators globally are seeing. And it will attract their attention of the regulators, central bank, regulatory agencies, both in India as well as abroad. So I think this is just the starting. I sense that in this year, in 2021, we'll see a lot more crypto companies going public, and that's definitely going. All the regulators are seeing that, and we are going to see that trend continue. A lot of people have personally asked me, right? I mean, they have left the Bitcoin rally; they could not invest in Bitcoin. What next? So they can now invest in crypto companies. I think that's the sort of trend we'll see, and we will with this move. I think definitely there's going to be a lot more companies coming from India, who are aiming to become unicorns or multi-billion-dollar companies in this space in the coming years. So that trend is continuing, especially for Coinbase. So Brian, and for Coinbase, this moment is especially very exciting because Coinbase has also made a strategic investment in Coinbase, and we keep exchanging thoughts with Coinbase and the kind of vision they had when they started, and right now I think there's a lot more growth that we'll see, right? And with Bitcoin getting more and more popularity, we'll see more Coinbase definitely seeing more growth, and a lot of companies who will go public in the coming times. They will clearly see a massive growth as the crypto market overall is getting more and more popular and getting more penetration globally.
But Sumit, if you look at Coinbase and 57 million users, it is the largest in America. It's done volumes of over $300 billion on its platform. So which are the other exchanges that you're expecting so much action from?
See, in different countries, there are various exchanges, and in India, of course, I mean, unfortunately, there is no regulation. But as regulators see the space and government brings more positive regulations in the crypto, you never know. We might see crypto companies also going public from India.
Okay, don't know that. First, let's wait and see the legislation that is indeed going to take place. But hey, always dream big and bigger, right? Before I let you go, Sumit, in the last couple of days, since all of this news about Coinbase and the IPO and the direct listing, all of that, have you seen a rub-off effect on your platform? Have you seen more queries? You seen more KYC taking place? If you can just give us a sense of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the number of KYCs, the number of investors has been exponentially rising. Every day we are seeing approximately 20,000 new investors joining the platform. That's every single day, right? That clearly shows the massive level of interest Indians have. In terms of Coinbase, of course, I mean, people cannot invest in Coinbase shares directly, but this listing, also triggered a lot of people, retail people who were very skeptical about crypto. Now, with Coinbase going public, they are also very keen on understanding what's happening, right? And how can they participate in the whole crypto, thing that's going on? How can they invest in crypto? How can they, understand more about this? I think that definitely has effect on multiple directions, not just the exchanges, but in general, a lot of people are very curious to learn more about this space, and such a massive $100 billion valuation, as you mentioned, Antara, right? This is much, this is larger than JP Morgan valuation. I think this is definitely a very positive sign, and one of the first crypto exchange getting listed on Nasdaq is a big deal, right? So definitely there's a lot of positive sentiments around. I can see not directly the trading volumes are of course increasing, but not just because of Coinbase listing, but in general the awareness and the interest from Indians, about the whole crypto is definitely rising. So we can clearly see the effect.
All right, with what has happened with the Coinbase direct listing, it is now bigger than a JP Morgan, it is bigger than a Goldman Sachs, it is bigger than the Nasdaq own valuation. Vinay, final comments from you. You've seen rising inquiries and interest when it comes to Coinbase. Let's see what happens in the next couple of days. But since we have you here, for all of those tuning in, what does it entail for an Indian to participate in a US equity like Coinbase? There's, of course, the repatriation norm limit you have of $250,000 a year. But how easy or difficult is it?
So it's pretty straightforward, right? So we have been in the market operational for the last 15 months. Opening an account with us is like pretty straightforward. It hardly takes about 5 minutes. You just need to do your KYC, address proof, and ID proof, and your account is immediately open. And using the LRS mandate, using the net banking, you can wire the funds to the US market, and you can essentially start trading within few hours. So it's pretty straightforward. It's as easy as, say, investing in an Indian equity. Investing in the US market has become as easy, similar to the Indian markets. So it's pretty straightforward. People want to participate. They want to diversify globally. They want to have at least 10 to 15% of your entire portfolio value dedicated towards the US market. And companies like Coinbase, which has the tailwind, along with them, with the crypto, values going over the roof, and $100 billion valuation, which companies like Coinbase, Airbnbs are getting. There's a very, very keen interest in the market, and they just want to ride the wave and kind of diversify the portfolio and have a holistic approach to investing.
Okay, let's leave it at that. So that's the Indian angle. Thanks a lot, Sumit and Vinay, for joining us live on this edition of Startup Central.